today I am going to show you through the massive pile of jelly printing that I have done, and then I'm going to talk about next steps. So I had intended to go through this pile at the end of my last video. However, I got so enthralled and just couldn't stop myself. So I just made a whole second batch after I shut the video off and decided to just turn that first video into just kind of a process so you could see what I was doing. And then I did a whole bunch more off camera. And what I think I'm gonna do, so this has grown into not only a massive pile of papers, but it's also grown into, I think at this point, three projects that I have kind of outlined over here, and I'll get to that in just a second here. Let me clear a space to make another pile over here as I go. First of all, I apologize in the kind of break in stuff, but I will let you know that the big thing that I was working on was my parents' 50th wedding anniversary, and so they said they didn't want a big deal out of it, but you cannot let 50 years go by without, some sort of recognition. So, so we put together a surprise party, a small one, but a surprise party. And I made a video of some slides and things like that. And so just the preparation and things going into that, took up several days. And then kind of in and around that at the same time were several other things just going on in life, and the busyness of life. Every one of Joy's track meets is like a day trip away. That takes up a huge chunk of time. And then I've had a couple of health things pop up, migraines, and nothing major. But anyway, that has just sucked the wind right out of my craft room. However, I am back. We are back, and we have three projects that we're going to work on. So let's flip through this stuff. I jelly printed. Okay, I'm addicted to jelly printing, and I used some metallic paints, some Arteza metallic paints, and then just some regular craft paints, and I used several different types of substrate. So I did some small book pages. These are out of a, these are those, so that's some of that metallic, and, so is that. These are out of an old, what's the word I'm looking? Encyclopedia. I love that one. And I think what I dig, I love everything about these, but I love the way it makes the paper feel. It's super cool. So some of them I like, and some I'm like, meh, I'm not so sure on. But I remember that when Tracy was doing it too, and she was like, some she didn't like so much. So I did overprint some that I didn't like as much. And like this one, for instance, I think had this color on there that I wasn't so sure. Oh no, this side color that I wasn't so sure of, and it was too dark. So then I overprinted with this white, and it made it look really cool. And then I liked it. So here is some gold. I did some with some bright gold and kind of reds. Oh, and that green. So you're gonna see as we're going through this, once I get to the end here, ooh, look at that. Bright lime chartreuse almost. That there are kind of three distinct projects gonna come out of these. This one I didn't do the back of for some reason. I just forgot to. Three distinct projects are going to come out of this. And as I'm kind of flipping through the papers, because I already know, I can imagine what these are going to look like and which books they're going to go into. So, I think this one I did with some Braille paper that my friend Emily sent me, and isn't that cool? I love how it printed. I think you'll see the Braille paper in here later. But yeah, so three kind of rather distinct projects are going to come out of these papers, and I think that I'm going to choose some. I did try doing some tool like mark making. This is bubble wrap, obviously. That's what it bubble wrap looks like printed on there. And I think what I'm going to do, I keep saying, I think what I'm going to do, and then I start talking about something else, is, and you guys let me know in the comments below if you're interested, but I think I'm going to make some paper packs. I think I'm going to scan some of my favorites and make a couple different paper packs or like digital kits. So like this bright red, I'm not the hugest fan of, but there's one of the projects that these brighter colors are going to work good for. This one was just literally rolling off and like stamping off and stuff, and I really like the way it came out. So I think because I've got a couple of distinct projects that we're going to use these for, I could make a couple of paper packs if you guys were interested. And because I know not everybody has the supplies or the Gelli plate, and Gelli plates are expensive. I just happened to find mine on super bargain clearance. Otherwise, there's no way I would have bought one, because I just would have been like, oh, you know, maybe in some point in the future I would have justified purchasing one, but you know, not right now. But yeah, so, oh, didn't do the back of that one either. Then I did some pages from a fairy tale book that I had. So some of them I've printed on, and you can still see some of the image underneath, which I just think is really cool the way that that worked out. This one you can kind of just barely see the letters, the words of the script. Like this one I'm not a huge fan of, but some of the ones that I'm not a huge fan of, this is a thicker piece, but look at that. That's gonna look cool with one particular project we're gonna work on. Some of the, oh, I apologize for the open window, but it is gorgeous and hot. It's a hot one. So this one just got some edge pieces printed on it. So I printed this in the middle because my Gelli plate is 12 by 12. So this got printed the whole thing, and then I had this swatch and this swatch left, so I just turned it over and stamped them on there, and it looks kind of cool. Then I did some envelopes, and these envelopes are, I mean, they're big, huge envelopes, right? But they were just like the edges and the bits of stuff that as I kind of rolled off, or because I had that huge plate, I often had edges left. So I kind of stamped the edges around things, and I love how they turned out. Plus, I just love how cool they feel. But, yeah, I mean, look at these. That one, it had some weirdness, so I just kind of spread a little bit. You see the metallic on there? So cool. Love that one. Oh, see, I think I love the envelopes the most. I don't know why. But definitely I would scan some of these even as paper. I mean, you'd be able to see it as paper. Bright blues. Love the colors on this one. Yeah, okay, so then these are just some regular sheets of paper that I did. More bubble wrap. And then this is, you'll see it in a minute, but it's a piece of 12 by 12 that I have that was flocked. This one I laid down and I gave it a zhuzh because I was kind of curious what that would do. And now I know. It kind of blurs the lines a little bit, which makes it kind of cool looking. And then this. We've got some blue and kind of orangey lines. Some more bubble wrap. I love these ones that kind of remind me of like a really old wall with like a bunch of peeled paint on it almost. You know what I mean? It just looks like a wall that's seen some things. Like the weather's been beating on it for a lot of years. And then that one's really cool. More bubble wrap. Just kind of a basic pink. Well, reddish, pinkish. This one, I think I kind of smooshed it on the page a little too. Lumber truck. And it gave me kind of this smooshy thing. Oh, and then this, can you see the little stencil marks? Yeah, barely. I will show you. I also have some really cool paper, 12 by 12 paper down here that's like a laser cutout lace. I like this one too. And I'll show you that in a second. This is in more book pages. So you can just barely see the images through there. More like that peeled painty looking stuff. This one's just a real basic look, but I love the way it looks. I like that. I like that you can just kind of see a hint of words behind it. Same here. This one you can't really see anything, but I like how it's two-toned. And we'll get to that. You'll see a bunch of those on bigger prints in here. So more of that peeledy paint looking stuff. Then I got out, because I have that giant 12 by 12 plate, I thought, you know what? When I watched Tracy do this, Tracy Fox, is who I kind of got inspired by to start doing the jelly printing. You know, I'm loving what she's been doing on her channel. And so I wanted to have a go. And she had some like packaging paper, and I thought, oh my gosh, you know what would work really good is the big rolls of masking paper. So I started playing with, this is where I started playing, it almost looks like impressionistic art or something, right? I started kind of playing with my smaller brayer, and I'd roll and roll and roll. I'd put little squirts of different colors and roll. And I love the way these turned out. They, this paper also, because it's thin, it picks up the color so well. This one, like, obviously had a bunch of wrinkles as I laid it down, but that actually kind of looks cool too. It's very oceany. Ooh, and these colors. And you know, of course, the camera just doesn't do it justice. So here's some lime green and reds and kind of pumpkin. There's some pumpkin in there. And then some of them I'd put a squirt of, like, so I had this kind of amber color and I had a yellow metallic. So I put a squirt of it in there, so you can't, it just really doesn't pick up on camera at all. But there's this slight shimmer to it. Oh man. This one you can see on camera. See how that's got, look at that. How fun is that? Oh, love these colors. And the purple has, yeah, has shine to it. See that? It's almost like iridescent. And this nice. Oh, and the papers just have this great hand feel to them too once they've got this paint on there. And it's not like regular paint, you know, where, because it's not a thick layer. It's just a super thin layer of paint, but you get this dramatic effect. I'm totally addicted to jelly printing. I love this one. I love these colors. So I think, you know, for sure I'll make a paper pack of like these ones, because I really love the way that they came out, and I love all the depth and the feel to the different colors and stuff. Here comes another truck. Oh, that one was going way slower. Yeah, so those were super fun to print. Then I had a couple of just large pieces of white 12 by 12. This one I was trying to see, like, could I make some sort of faux paper marbling thing, but it didn't turn out so great. It didn't turn out as paper marbling, but it did turn out cool. I mean, I like the way it looks. And this one totally looks, every time I see this one, I think it looks like a piece of corporate art from the like late 80s, early 90s. Like you'd see it on the wall in my dad's office or something, right? And people would be like, oh, really cool. Be like, I did that in 5 seconds on my jelly plate. This one was because I had laid down a regular sheet of paper in the middle and peeled it up, and I had these borders left. And since I had a piece of 12 by 12, I thought, let me just squish some of this kind of amber colored paint in the middle part, and it picked up awesome. I love the way it picked up. And then here's another one. This has just a few little shimmers of metallic kind of thrown in there. Okay, so then these are those cool like die cut papers. So this one almost reminds me of like a radiator you know, something you'd see like over a radiator or something. But they also picked up color. So there's that. And this one was like a bigger pattern, right? And then here is the piece of 12 by 12 that I have had that is flocked. So it's got a raised flocking on it. And so when I laid that down and to print it, it left some of this mark. And that was really cool. That turned out cool. And then this bright purpley one on the back here. Here's that Braille paper. And I didn't ever get to doing the other side of it or anything, but definitely, I mean, the Braille withstood. It didn't, like, getting it wet with paint didn't make the bumps go down or anything, so I will definitely be using that to print some more. Then I had these big, huge, like 11 by 17 pieces of paper, and since I was using my giant 12 by 12 plate, I thought, let me do some big ones because I want to make one of these books like big. So this is not Gelli print, this is a roll-off page, but I kind of dig the way that the roll-off pages look too. Here's another roll-off one, or where I would put a paper down and then the stamping from the bubble wrap over the edges. But yeah, that's another roll-off page. This one got a little intense back here. And then here are just some prints. And sometimes I love this one because it's kind of sunsetty colors and, you know, my faves. So sometimes I just printed one end like this. Here's another peeled paint looking one. And sometimes I printed the whole dang sheet. So I printed this end and then I'd go pick up stuff over on this end or pick up the edge of another print. And that worked really cool. This was one, I love this one. How cool is that? So that's one that I made using that paper, that die cut paper, you know? And then it just, I don't know, I must have layered a whole bunch of colors because there's all kinds of color and depth in this thing. And then down here on the end, there's some blue shimmer. And I like how the juxtaposition between like the one that I picked up here and then a second print on the end. I think folded into a page, you know, those will look really cool. Here's a super grungy one. It reminds me of like when you over bake a piece of coffee stained paper or something and you get dark brown edges. This is like, you know, clearly this is where I had stamped something and this was still residual from the one before. This one reminds me of more corporate art, but I really like it. Here's some more cool, just kind of chartreuse and greens, lime greens. I love this one. Maybe I'll make a paper pack with just some of the lighter colored ones too. Well, you'll see in a minute why. I love this one. See? Oh, I keep saying, I love this one. No, I love this one. These big ones, I think, because it's just such a big surface, you get like so much more bang for your buck. This one's got some pearlescent paint, so it actually looks, look at, when you catch it in the right, it looks almost like I used texture paste on it or something, but nope. Completely flat, and you could totally write on this. I mean, it's light enough, you could write on it or art journal. This was a, oh, this was a big 2-page thing from a book, but I used it to roll off on, and it turned out real cool. I like that back side there. That's cool. Some more long ones. We're almost done, guys. We're almost done. There's some more of that printing from the paper, the flocked paper. And like I said, I just love the way that it makes the paper feel. And I love the way that the metallics just like catch the light just right. That gold is super shimmery. Look at that. How pretty is that? This one's kind of springy and happy. And then this like dark aqua. Some more bubble printing. So you can see where I had one and then I layered and then I layered. That one. Nice and bright on that one. This one looks very like multimedia, very multimedia. And last but not least, because I love all the grunginess on that one. Okay, so there's my giant pile. Okay, so here are the 3 projects that we're going to work on. The first one, and I'm not saying I'm going to start to finish these or anything on camera, but these are the 3 things that I'm going to be working on in the near future here. This is my Boho Bliss kit, and as you can see, as I flip through this, several of these pages look, I mean, look at that, look like they will work perfectly with some of those peeled, painty looking pages. I have backed it with some of Tracy Fox's papers because these 3 projects are also going to be design team projects for Tracy Fox. So that's the first one, will be that. I've also just printed out some butterflies, but I'm going to use in conjunction with that. Look at how well this kit plays with it. This is her new Relics kit. And so we're going to use some of these pages. They're great, like they'll be great tear pages, but we'll also use some of them as book pages. You know, who knows what we'll all do with them. We'll make envelopes out of them and stuff. But we're going to use this kit, her Relics kit, with my boho kit. Oh, and then this is just the ephemera that goes with my boho kit. So we're going to do that. Then she came out with this Egypt kit, and as I looked at the oranges and the blues and the yellows, I mean, look at this. Right? Am I right? So I printed these off, and then as I was printing them off, so this is her new Egypt kit. I haven't trimmed the edges of these or cut, obviously, done any fussy cutting or anything, but she put these out right as I was in the process of trying to figure out my direction here. And I was like, hello, these bright blues and the oranges and stuff look perfect. And I just printed some old, like, you know, paper on the back. So that, and then, so we'll use that kit. And then this one is called Relic Fragments Egyptian. And then we're going to use her Egyptian mini embellishments too. Look at how fun those are. I see tabs or altered paper clips or, you know, whatever. So we're going to use those. So we're going to make an Egyptian book. Oh, and as I was printing those out, I thought, I know somewhere I've got an Archaeology of Ancient Egypt book. I didn't remember that that was the actual title, but I was like, Egyptian archaeology something or other. So it's got some great photos and some, you know, if we're going to use book pages to back things or whatever, wouldn't it be great if they were about Egyptian archaeology? So we'll use some of this. I don't know who that guy is. He's clearly not an Egyptian. He's probably some sort of archaeologist. Anyway, that'll go perfect with this. So that'll be a fun book to make. But then she put out this kit. And I was instantly in love. And I went, this is the perfect, bright and whimsical kit to make my big giant book out of, with the big giant pages. Okay, so this is brand new kit called Peculiar Peeps. And to some of you, this might be weird or creepy. To me, I think these are so whimsical and fantastic. How fun are these? And they have just enough like bright color to them that, like the things. This giraffe, I can't, you guys. This is so cool. Okay, and look at the colors play so well. And we're gonna just use this, and then you get, with the kit, you get these like fussy cuts of the people. So we will definitely be cutting the people out, because look how fun they are. I've got them printed on like a medium weight cardstock, because I'm not sure what we'll do with them yet. Then you get this. I'm not sure about the creepy doll face with no eyes, although I'm also not sure about the creepy doll face with eyes. So, but some of the other stuff on here, we might skip the creepy doll heads. But the rest of the stuff on here is super fun. And then you also get just some tag bases with the kit as well. So you can create your own tags with the kit. Oh, and one more. And this actually looks like some jelly printing almost here. So it'll go really well. And then I thought, as we do that one, I am also thought about her mini ephemera mix kit. And it's got these cute little tiny pockets, which I thought would be cute, juxtaposed on giant pages. So I thought these colors would go well with some of the jelly printing stuff that I did. And then it has these, this we can make up as a little ephemera folder, but then it has these great little pieces of random ephemera. So we can use some of this and tuck it in. And she also just put out a more rather random mix labels. So totally random stuff. It comes as usual. Most of her things come in kind of a toned down, a lot of her labels come in like a toned down, more neutrals, like browns, beiges, tans, and then you get one that's like got the blues, greens, and reds, kind of that more traditional, oh, what's the word for these kinds of labels? I don't know. You guys know. So we'll use some of those in there too. And I think what I'll do with this kit is, I just love these people, these little peculiar people. I think what I'll do with this kit is go through and pick out a whole bunch of just random, like vintage ephemera that I have and stuff. I was just gifted a box from some friends up here who have been going through their mom's stuff. You've heard me talk about Dorothy a bunch of times. And they said, you know, we find all these random little pieces like this and we just think she was saving them for some reason. And they're like, but you know, we would normally just throw this stuff away, but they go, well, then we think of you. And I said, yes. So we'll use some of these little bits. I've been saving them in this little thing. We'll use some of these little bits and pieces in this book too. And we'll just make it kind of a random, totally whimsical, throw a bunch of weird vintagey stuff in there. And that'll be it. It will have no theme other than just total whimsicalness, whimsicality. Is that a word? Anyway, guys, so I am so stoked. Let me know in the comments down below if you are interested in some paper packs. I think for sure I'll do some of the ones on the paper, like on the masking paper, because I just really like how these turned out. But I can kind of curate a couple of packs as well into maybe some more that would fit with the, like, if in case you want to play along, basically. So some more bright colored ones to go along with our, you know, brightly colored Peculiar Peeps ones, and then maybe some of the peeled paint ones that would go more with like a vintage theme or a vintage feel, or, you know, in my case, we'll be using them with the Egyptian ones and the boho ones. So anyway, guys, that's where we are at. Let's go to one of my favorites here as our end shot. So that's what I'm going to be working on over the next, you know, little bit of time here. But sprinkled in there will be some other things. I seriously still need to get back to junk journaling A to Z. I've been trying to dream up a way to do the C is for closures so that we can finish C, so we can close, we can find closure with C and move on to D. But closures, man, I don't have a bunch of I've done a ton of closures, but I don't have a ton of closures just laying around because all my books are, you know, sold or rehomed. So it might just be another one like the overview where I show you some pictures and talk through different ways of doing closures. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Get it? C is for closure. Or maybe what we'll do is just move on from that one and come back to it once I have footage of me doing a bunch of different closures. When that makes sense. There's no rule that I can't just jump around in this, guys. There's no rule. There's no rules to the junk journal A to Z. Anyway, thanks so much for hanging out with me. I hope that you had fun looking through my stack of papers. I certainly had fun making these. This was a fun project, and I was actually chatting with Tracy Fox and saying, you know, I kind of just wanted to like do this for the whole rest of my day. I just want to just shut down everything else, and for the next 3 days I just want to play with smooshing paint and making marks on things. I do have a bunch of stuff pulled out that I want to try and do. She had another video where she did some frottage, which is like rolling, you know, when you used to put a coin underneath the piece of paper and then you'd use your pencil to go over the top and you'd take a mark, make a print. So she did that, and I went and pulled a bunch of things that I thought might be fun to print with. So we might just have to get out the jelly paper or the jelly plate and make some more papers and do some frottage. And Lizzie, my daughter, my 17-year-old, bless her heart, she has been begging to do a voiceover video. So maybe I will let her do that as I make marks on some paper, and maybe that will be something entertaining for us all in the near future as well. So anyway, enough said. Now we're caught up. Now you know where I've been. I hope you guys have been doing good. The weather is turning lovely here, and that's why I have my windows open, and we'll just be, hopefully it's not too obnoxious, because I think we're gonna just have to live with it. Our new house doesn't have air conditioning, but we're so far north in Minnesota that the days where we actually get like grossly hot are not as many. So we're hoping, you know, we have some Windows units, but we're hoping that we'll be good to go without it. So there's an obnoxious fly flying around. I don't know where he came from. Anyway guys, I hope that you're doing well. I hope that your weather is something that you can enjoy. Even if it's rain and you need rain, that's a good thing, right? I just saw someone got some snow, and, you know, have fun with that. I think we're done with that for the year here. I played in the dirt and planted some plants, so, you know, that's the official end of snow, Minnesota. But anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. I hope that you're healthy. I hope that you are enjoying your day. Hope that you have a wonderful morning or afternoon or evening or middle of the night, whatever time it is on whatever side of this fantastic globe planet of ours that you live on. And until I see you next time, stay safe and healthy and be happy and be blessed. God bless you guys. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.